Oh, look at this. Look at this. Bright and early, up and at 'em here on a Friday. Welcome to Barn Burner, everybody. Good to see you here. We were just talking before we came on about Mother Nature and how she's about to stop being such a bitch.
Oh, geez. Wow.
Right shortly, as we're coming out of the deep freeze, it looks like. We deserve it. We just.
Sorry. Yeah, he's ready.
Earphones. It's warming up, Dean. I got to shed some layers here. Give me one moment. My ears are coming out.
He's ready. Look at him.
Yeah, it's
he's gonna hurt himself.
We need to convince him to keep the mullet for summer.
Oh, for sure. And only wear T-tops or muscle shirts, whatever the hell they're
T-tops, yeah. Yeah. Maybe get some tips on there too. Get some color in there.
Ooh.
There you go.
Does the JPL know what's coming to get them?
They don't. They should, but they don't. I feel for them.
There's one or two staff members like, I know this asshole. He was high kicking in the lobby at 2 a.m. when I was trying to make room keys last year.
That's right. This is that guy that, yeah. Oh, and he's got a mullet now. Great. So that I'm sure
even better.
Yeah, I'm sure he's really reined his life in.
Nice shirt. Yeah, he's fun, huh?
So we're on a wee bit early today because we have a road trip. We're headed up to Jasper Park Lodge, the Jasper Pond Hockey Tournament.
Yeah, we've got a championship to win, Pinder.
Let's go.
And your job is on the line.
Yeah, we've only had one person on the roster quit in the history of the franchise, but we're going to try to persevere and get through that.
Keefe is in a bit of a hot seat. There's other guys, coaches and GMs that are on a hot seat. You are now officially on the hot seat.
Well, I'm a GM. Dean's the coach, so he's definitely on the hot seat.
Definitely not the coach.
Especially retiring.
Well, you know what? He's a motivator, so I can see why he's coaching.
He's a team player.
Special advisor to the general manager.
That's the cushiest, most nonsense gig I've ever heard.
Special advisor.
Special advisor is just going to drink coffee in the lodge and not watch the games, I got a sense.
And maybe, I'd hate to have to show up late and leave early. Our trip to Jasper is fueled by Booster Juice. Download the new Booster Rewards app today. Start earning berry points for delicious and nutritious smoothies, drinks, and food that'll get you through the day. Thank you, Booster Juice.
Go with the mango. Boys, love the mango move. Mango all the way. A mangsicle, I think. There's one of those.
Mangrove.
I'm stuck in my cords. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll get into the opening statements today for McLeod Law. It's the day after a game day for the Calgary Flames, so we'll get into it. We'll lay down all of the pertinent details here with opening statements for McLeod Law. Peter Klein, of course, our buddy over at McLeod Law, personal injury guy, disability insurance claim guy. If you're getting the runaround, then there's only one guy to call, and it's Peter Klein. When he came, it was a week ago. We were in Phoenix. He was all apologetic. We get to the airport. He's like, "Hey guys, I'd love to come and sit down. I got a bit of work to do. I got to kind of just." Peter, it's okay, buddy. We know you're important. We're not. And we're going to be around all weekend, so don't worry. So he's always working, and he could be working for you. McLeod-law.com. Opening statements. And
hey, Peter, we're going to do a bunch of tequila shots and hammer some Caesars and tell some jokes in the bar. I've got a little bit of work. I got a few files I'm working on. We'll see you at the gate. Okay.
I'm really sorry, guys. I see. What's that? You've got shafts, and you've got a boat paddle with a bunch of shot glasses on it. I'd love to help out, but I do have some work to do.
We're drinking beer out of Pinder's shoe. Come on out. I'm actually a little bit tied up right now.
To help us out with opening statements, he is our NHL insider. A little Frank bomb to start the show. We bring in Frank Seravalli. There he is.
Hello, boys.
How we doing, buddy?
Just living the dream.
Yeah.
I actually thought that was a Leafs backdrop.
No, it's very purple. It's the hotel I'm in Calgary. I don't know why it's.
Yeah.
Red, he's not at the league office. Why would there be Leafs wallpaper in the background?
That's right, yeah.
Bastards cheating set of goals. What the hell?
He's not in Bettman's den.
That's right.
With his friggin' leaf montage. Just getting screwed. You know what? Jermaine Franklin, our buddy. Jermaine Franklin, of course, we all know Jermaine, Calgary guy forever. Now with TSN in Toronto. I put a little thing in the drive there. Even Jermaine saw it for what it was last night as the Flames got jobbed
Oh,
And that's why nobody likes the Leafs. Bad challenge, not in the spirit of the rule. Terrible.
that's going to make him some friends in Toronto. They're very
I was going
understanding.
to
of
say,
those
you
types
can
of things.
imagine how that went over
Mhm.
with those around him in Toronto.
That wasn't even the best part of the tweet. The best part was when he's like, and that's why nobody likes the Leafs. Like, no, that isn't it, Jermaine.
There's
Not it.
It's not exactly it, but it could be part of it.
Self-proclaimed center of the hockey universe. Come on.
You know, I don't want to get. We're having some fun with it. Now, let's take a. We'll take a look at it. You know, I'm making this the story. I just wanted to make sure we got Jermaine in there. A no goal in the third period, and it screwed us out. What it was going to be a great finish. We were going to be tied.
And I started cheering. I actually cheered when Zari scored, and then I actually cheered, which is not my go-to move. And I actually said,
some next level analysis.
Frank was at the game, and there was layers he didn't even know happened. Yeah.
Wow.
Did you cheer? No cheering in the press box.
No cheering in the press box. No.
I cheered. I got shit once for cheering in the press box. Apparently, it's a no. You can't do that.
You're not supposed to do it. No.
I was cheering for a college football game because I had a bet.
It wasn't for what that was actually happening in the rink. It was Rhett's own wallet.
Yeah.
Isn't that what's happening in the Gretzky McDavid video the commercial we have to watch every game? Yeah,
it's
that's
something like that. Yeah, something like that.
What was the Frank? The atmosphere sounded unbelievable on TV. The Leafs only come once a year. Original 6, 2 Canadian markets, 1 anthem, as you noted in your tweet. Like it felt like an electric barn last night.
It was okay. I think. Look, not to be critical of Flames fans, and I understand why people do this. It's an easy game to sell. The Leafs only come once a year. You sell it for a big number, and it helps eat away at your season ticket nut for the year. I get it. The only thing that, and this happens, trust me, this is not a Calgary specific thing. This also happens in Winnipeg and Vancouver and Edmonton. How many people, the same people in the same seats, the next game will be wearing a Flames jersey that just wore a Leaf jersey last night? Why is that a phenomenon?
I'm not sure.
Oh, because there was at one point in time only 2 teams in Canada. So if you're of a certain vintage, you would have grown up cheering for most likely the Leafs or the Habs.
Okay.
Maybe it's you think back when your dad was still alive or your grandpa, you'd be sitting on grandpa's knee watching Hockey Night in Canada.
It's also a large part of the population in Canada is centered around there. So even
west,
all the people that live in Alberta, there's a huge percentage that came from Ontario. So
the
atmosphere,
the Go Leafs Go chants, like it's an oddity for a home building to be quieted by the opposition fan base.
So to summarize, according to Frank Seravalli, Calgary, a bunch of pussies,
turncoats.
No, we wouldn't let that happen in Philly.
That's Philly fandom there. They're like, that doesn't happen in our bars.
Yeah. Hats getting thrown on the ice after a Matthews hat trick. Like,
I know
that would be very problematic where I'm from.
That is the toughest ticket of the year right there. That game right there.
There's a lot of empty seats.
It was a sellout, but yes.
I don't know why that is though.
Because people are drinking in the bars, in the rink.
Okay. That is one thing that a lot of the fans aren't really fans. They go for the social aspect and sit in the bar and drink.
Well, just go to Cactus then, or go to.
No, don't say that. We want them to go
to free plugs.
We want
Frank.
buy your tickets. Yeah, buy tickets for sure. Go to the games, everybody. So awful game according to Frank Seravalli. The fans, the Leaf, the turncoat Calgary fans,
fighting and
no
fans.
Wouldn't do it again. No one even threw a battery. No one broke a leg.
God, they only come once a year.
You're the only guy from Philly that was in the barn. You should have started something.
Seriously, set the tone.
Jersey, somebody.
What jersey were you wearing?
I couldn't get a jersey to fit.
Oh dear.
How's this weekend going to go, Frank? Are you playing?
I don't know. I hope there's I mean, hey, I'm not Boomer. I actually show up and play. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I just hope they have jerseys big enough.
Please, that hurts. Please take it back. you've cut me to the core with that dig. I'll survive somehow. Okay, so let's get to it. What, as far as the game, this was the Flames riding a 4-game winning streak, Leafs a 4-game losing streak. I said to Ryan last night when we did the post-game show, after it was tied at 4 and they called the timeout, Keefe calls that timeout. I'm thinking, are they really needing to stop the momentum here at 4-4? Are they this fragile? But obviously it was to take a look. I guess somebody saw the hand pass, but the game sure looks easy for Austin Matthews. There's almost and it's a completely different thing, but there's almost a Mario-esque nature to his play. I never see him gasping for breath. He's never had to go the length of the ice at top speed. He's always in the right spot. It's the economy of movement and energy. And he is, I know that people, McDavid, maybe he is the purest shooter and goal scorer in the world.
3 on 5 last night. That's a nice little
I just don't
percentage
know.
there.
There's no one that does it better.
There's a nonchalance to his goal scoring that is really, it makes it seem effortless. And I think when he has it, there's a swagger that it's almost like he walks in the building and knows he's scoring that night, which is probably a pretty unreal feeling to have. But it's funny, when he didn't have it last year, he still scored 40, which for most mere mortals is an unreal year. But you kind of watched last year and you were like, okay, well, where'd that go? How does that confidence evaporate? You know, how much of it was related to the wrist and the injury and all that stuff that was connected to it. And he really kind of, when he doesn't have that going, I don't want to say he's an average player, because he does work hard, and his defense, the way that he backtracks is actually quite impressive. But I look at the rest of his game and I'm like, man, it just leaves you wanting. Like, if he's not scoring, what's he doing? And then you're like, well, he still scored 40. So what are you even talking about?
And especially as a centerman too, right? It's like, you got to expend the most energy on the ice. You're a centerman. You got to be, he just always looks like it's beer league for him.
Yeah. And now you turn around and it's 22 goals in his last 21 games. And all of a sudden he kind of has, it's a long way off, but he has an outside shot at 50 and 50.
We talked about it. It would be so fun to have a chase. Like, even if he doesn't get it, just to be close would be so good for the sport.
The fact that it's January 19th and it's even a talking point is, it's bananas.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Outside of Matthews, what did you make of the Leafs last night? Because it was, you lose at home against the Leafs, that hurts. All the Leaf fans are going to be in your ear holes giving it to you. But, and we're having fun with the controversy. It goes off a glove, whatever. But it was going to be a great finish. The Leafs outside of Matthews, just okay. We talked about it on this show yesterday. Well, Leaf fans, you just need to calm down. What are y'all worried about? And then the game starts. It's like, oh, there's a turnover. Oh, that's kind of soft. Oh, that's not a very good play. We can kind of see, I guess, you talk about nonchalance, if that's the word to use. They're a little loosey-goosey in their own end, to say the least, at times.
Yeah, the Flames took it to them that first period. I mean, they barely spent any time in the Flames' end. They couldn't get out of their own end. And I thought, when you consider the totality of the circumstances, meaning where they were at with the losing streak, going down early, Sheldon Keefe says what he said earlier in the week about not knowing who he can rely on. The way that they responded was really impressive. And that part, certainly will serve them well. The fact that it nearly became a tied game again and nearly blew a 2-goal lead, that part probably still leaves everyone not feeling quite comfortable if you're in Toronto. And I think they've got a lot of work to do on their back end, and to really try and solidify this team as a cup contender, because they're just not in that category for me. They're not even really that close.
Retro, we talked yesterday. We threw out, is this a measuring stick game? Is this a litmus test for the Flames? Now the game is over. They have lost, but what do you take as far as Flames analysis and gauging where they are at in the pecking order after
that? Was the question I was going to ask Frank myself. I thought the Flames looked pretty good at times, but then the Leafs do have that. Well, you guys talked about it, the swagger. There was a couple shifts where the shoveler actually asked me, she's like, are they on the power play? they were zipping it around so good in the Flames zone. But I thought the Flames looked pretty good. Vladar made some big saves. I gave up 4, but 3 to the best scorer there is, and they had opportunities to win the game. So I think it further muddies the water for Conroy as far as what to do with this squad.
I don't even think it's close. There's no question for me. And I think you have to have a black and white thinking in terms of how you look at this. Like, muddies the water in terms of what? Can we be the 8 seed? Yeah.
That's the only way they get in, isn't it?
Yeah, you can. You could be the 8 seed this year, but you'd have to do that by keeping your guys at the deadline. You're not trading away 3 pieces and getting the 8 seed. And you're not winning with these guys. You're barely above 500. And frankly, the only real push that this team has gotten this year has been on the back of some of the juice that's been injected by the younger guys in Zary and before the injury, Pospsil. They've helped get Kadri going. Like, that to me is what I'd be turning the page to and looking forward to, as opposed to trying to keep this team together.
What's their record since that shitty start, Pinder?
Yeah, the outdoor game they got pumped.
Since I did this morning, since Pospsil stepped into the lineup on November 4th, they are 19, 12, and 4.
That's correct. Where would you have Markstrom as far as goalie rankings in the league?
In terms of just this season only?
Yeah. Like Vezina votes, is he a top 3 on your ballot?
No.
Because he's leading in goals saved over expected, which it factors in environment, right? His real numbers aren't pretty, but you look at that third pair.
Yeah, but then so if you want to play that game, then let's also talk about Sorokin and his numbers and how much he's bailed out the Islanders.
Yeah.
So if I were voting right now, my ballot would be
but I'm not
Hellebuck 1, it would be Thatcher Demko 2, and Ilya Sorokin 3.
So if he's a top 5, though, my point about it is, and I'm a sell and rebuild or retool or however the hell they want to call it. But if you've got a Vezina caliber goaltender, and those kids don't have to stop playing well come playoffs, an 8 seed can beat a 1st seed with that kind of goaltending.
Stop it.
What do you mean?
Seattle
Stop it? It just fucking happened last year.
No, but no. Stop doing this. I've been here for 2 days, and you are the 3rd different show to bring this up. Stop mentioning
reality.
Florida. No, it's not. The Florida Panthers won the President's Trophy the year before. They were an excellent team.
Okay, then I'll go back to 2003.
Oh my
2004. Like it's not
the point is not.
It's not a one-off for a goaltender to win a series.
No,
what are you talking about?
It's not.
The Florida Panthers are the only team to ride a hot fucking goalie into playoffs.
Are you getting sucked into a Pinder vortex right now? What is happening?
It's not a Pinder vortex. It's a goaltender vortex. And if you have a good goaltender, you can win. And you know what? You being from fucking Philly should know.
Oh, yeah.
You wouldn't know.
Right. Yeah.
Woo! Here's the thing. If you are going into the playoffs as the 8 seed and you're saying, man, I hope and pray and wish that our goalie can win us a series, you are missing the boat entirely. And the point. The point is sustained, repeatable, consistent, long-term success.
I agree, Frank. And I think that's why I think they have to move Tanev and they have to move Lindholm. The one that seems to be the fly in the ointment is Hannahan because of the age. How would you approach that if you're Craig Connor? Because you said black or white binary. Does that mean you're selling Hannahan no matter what?
It means that I'm trying to re-sign Hannahan right now because, and this is consistent with what I've said from the beginning of the year, if you want to be in 2 to 3 years' time, let's call it 3 when the new arena opens.
Yeah.
If you want to be a good team then, you cannot possibly sell everyone right now. You have to at least keep one person.
Okay.
And Hannahan's the guy that makes sense. One, because for whatever reason, I don't know that anyone's completely ever knocked their socks off in terms of an offer. And two, because if you go into this summer and you're trying to fill 4 defensive spots, let's say that only Uyghur and Anderson are back. Mm-hmm. Good luck.
Yeah.
You're already up facing an uphill battle trying to bring in 3 defensemen. And no offense to the 2 guys that they've been riding with on the third pair, they're not NHL. They're replacement level NHL players is what they are.
Yep.
And you can't be competitive that way. So you have to keep someone. Hannahan makes sense. The contract, by all accounts, isn't crazy exorbitant. And he's young enough that you can see a window there in which he really helps your team be competitive.
What's he worth and what's an overpay? That's the question. I have a tough time with him because he doesn't run a power play. He's probably the 3rd best defenseman today. You're going to have to pay Anderson more than him when his deal comes up. Like
pretty well. I don't know if he is the 3rd best.
Well, I just think Anderson and Uyghur
I was going to say, I think he's 2.
So who's he better than?
I think he is a 2.
Okay. So they might have 2 2s. Well, or 3 2s. That's fair. Where is it too much for you? Is it 7.5? Is it 8? Is it 7? Like, what's the number you're like, ooh?
Yeah, I don't think I'd go past 7.5.
Is there any part of that where you look at what you have in Anderson, Uyghur, and then potentially Hannahan, and then just kind of balance the 3 contracts out to say we're spending X on our top 3?
Not really.
Does that make you maybe swallow a bigger contract? Because I don't think with Hannahan you're so much worried about term, and usually it's the other way around. You don't want guys long term.
Why? Whatever. Can I change the topic just a touch?
Mm-hmm.
Because I am, and Frank, I've argued to sell guys all along, but I'm going to play.
So don't get sucked into a 10-game run.
We got to have conversation. So who's the 8th seed if the Flames don't go for it? And even if they move Tanev and Lindholm, they're going to pop guys into there. Zari and Pospsil have come in and played well. Why can't the guy come in and fill a spot and then with that kind of goaltending still make a run, have a playoff spot? Who's so much better in that grouping of teams that the Flames are going to fall out? And if they're doing a retool and they're going to sell these guys, how much? Who are they selling them to? Their first round pick's going to be in no man's land again. 12 to 15 or 6, you know what I mean?
But it'll be their 2nd first-round pick. Which is the point, right?
If you're making trades, what Frank's saying, Red, is that you're going to get another first rounder from the Boston, Colorado, whoever you're making trades with, Carolina. Like,
but I'm saying go ahead and do that. But I still think you can make the playoffs.
You could. You're dealing with the Kraken, Blues, Preds, all these other teams that are no better, no worse. Like, so what you're saying is, why can't you sell and still compete for a spot this year?
Yeah.
AKA what the Nashville Predators tried to do last year or almost ended up doing by the nature of the way Saros played.
Totally. That's a great comp, actually. They went really young and they played their asses off. They traded some vets and they still were competitive right to the end. They just got edged out by Winnipeg.
Sure.
The floor has fallen. No, I mean, completely different. The floor has fallen out on the LA Kings. What's going on there?
Yeah, what's going on there? It's been a mess. And the fact that they were even asking yesterday about Todd McClellan and his job security. I mean, this is a team that sprinted out to an unbelievable start this year. McClellan just got an extension before the season started. Mm-hmm. It's a really talented team that just is really structured, and I don't really have an answer for you. It kind of feels to me like a bit of what's happened is the goaltending has fallen out and it's hard to compete that way.
Yeah. Well, and did we expect Cam Talbot to hang Vezina numbers all year? Of course that he's going to come back to earth. I
didn't mean to derail. I would like to stay on the, sorry guys. Can
I just say one thing? Cause I actually need to run in the short term. And this is unrelated to the build. Does Dustin Wolf have to start Saturday?
These guys don't want to. I'd love to see him in there.
I think they have to.
Why?
Give this kid a marquee center stage Battle of Alberta Saturday night start.
Why does it have to be right now?
He's just
Vladar's playing well. If Markstrom can't
yesterday's average. Yes, I'm sorry. Like he was fine yesterday, but giving up 4, like your team more often than not, you don't have a chance to win.
Like you know what? I get it. That's a very media thing. Oh, he's got to play. Put him in there.
No.
He
it's
can
not
play,
gotta
he can play the Oilers next year and the year after and the year
Sorry,
after.
no.
He's got a
In the
life.
spring.
He's got a lifetime to play the Edmonton Oilers. Why does it have to be Saturday?
Well, I'm also basing this on the idea that Markstrom isn't ready.
Right.
But there is a chance that he's back. So, and if Markstrom's back, then okay, I get it. You're trying to scratch as many points away as you can, and you want to end the Oilers' winning streak, and blah blah blah, whatever. First off, the atmosphere is going to be juiced. You know the guys are going to be ready to play. Two, there's something to the idea that there's been a ton of frustration on the end of Wolf. He's done and said all the right things, but the fact that they haven't opened up a hole to use him, despite what he's done, you can't ask of anything else of him, at every level that he's played at. You got to throw the kid a bone at some point. The last thing you want is for a future franchise player to be unhappy or disgruntled in any way. And after a fine start, an average start from Vladar, what if Markstrom's not ready? What's the reason against putting him in?
I love it. I think
losing 7-1 on Hockey Night in Canada.
Who cares? I'm with
you're talking you're talking about the biggest worry is having him disgruntled. To me, the bigger worry is him getting fucking shelled against the team that's rattled off 12 in a row. That's what to me, that's the greater risk, is potentially damaging this guy's confidence for what? If you win, are you in the playoffs? There's no you don't have to do it. I'm fine if they do it, but I just don't.
As opposed to what? Him continuing to light up the AHL for no path forward?
He's earned it.
Of course, there's a path forward. I mean,
no, there's not right now. So
what
Vladar's here.
What
should the Flames have done by now? They've tried to trade Vladar. No one can take him because he's making too much money. So what should they be doing?
I'm not saying they should have done anything differently. My point is, right now,
you said they haven't cleared a path for him. So I'm asking, what should they have done?
You have an opening, and you're not going to use him.
You could have put Vladar down
if you had both guys that were sitting there healthy. If Markstrom and Vladar were healthy, I'd say sure, there's nothing to see here. But if Markstrom's out and Vladar's just playing okay, which he is, because he might shit his pants on Hockey Night in Canada? That's how we're gonna think about it now. Is, oh my God, don't throw him to the Wolves.
Let me ask you a question.
The 2-time AHL goalie of the year, he can't handle himself.
Let me ask you a question. Do the Flames have a goalie on their roster that got, as you said, broken by the Edmonton Oilers? Do they have firsthand knowledge of what it's like when McDavid goes nuts on your goalie and he can't rebound or battle back? They do, right?
You sit here and cower in fear. Oh my God.
Do they? But
that's the wrong message to send, in my opinion.
So you set another guy up for potential disaster when you don't have to?
I don't think January is the same as a series, to be honest.
No, but that's what I'm saying. You got to start him. You haven't created a path. He's disgruntled. He's your top guy. You can start him, but I would put Vladar in there.
I understand the fear, Dean. Let yourself think about what happens if he plays well and they win.
Now you're in a shitty spot.
That's best case scenario.
That's exactly because you're looking at worst case scenarios. I'm challenging you to look at not worst case scenarios.
I am saying then that's great, but the gain is far less than the potential failure. You stand to lose more than you stand to gain. Does Dustin Wolf become that much? Is he that much more confident and that much better by beating Edmonton? Or if he gets shelled, do you have a bigger case on your hands?
I like the upside more, to be honest.
Me too. And I would say if he gets shelled, then any frustration that he might have had coming into this year about, not being a full-time NHL goalie,
it's on him.
Maybe that dissipates. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, the message you send to this kid is you're our goalie of the future. You are the long-term. We trust you. Get out there and show us what you can do. Dan Vladar is not the long-term future of this team. It's a good argument.
You would hope,
Jacob Markstrom, as good as he's played, he's not the long-term future of this team.
No, he's got 2 years left. What are they going to look like in the next 2 years? They're not winning a cup. Let's be honest.
And the last thing he won is an Adam Fox, hey, I'm out of here.
at the same
Watch your
time,
mouth.
we have seen some Dustin Wolf, and he has not been undeniable.
Yeah, he's had
My
5
only
starts in the
point
NHL.
is-
5.
Has Dan
But
Vladar been undeniable?
Has he
No,
he
hasn't.
shown to you? Has Dustin Wolf has he shown this? We're crushing this kid by not playing him. He has shown us that he should be our number one right now.
What he's
Like,
shown you
no.
is he's too good for the American League, and he needs an opportunity more than
and he'll
4 starts
he'll-
in a season. That's what I'm saying. It's a great opportunity.
Do it.
Okay.
Juice us up on a Saturday. Let's go.
You're going to be so drunk Saturday when that game's on, you won't know who's in that. I think Vernon's playing great.
Ken Reagan is a great Flame.
I didn't know Vernon was so small.
See you soon, Frank.
It's
Rhett's
better
got
than-
that
it's
bottle
better
of
than
whiskey
the,
for you.
than the negativity vortex that's surrounding you right now.
Okay.
If
It's
you're
only
scared,
last week,
hey,
Frank.
I'll
You're
leave you
okay.
with this. If you're scared, get a dog. All right.
He is
Hey.
too. That's how scared he is.
Hey,
Yeah.
it's a long walk to Jasper, big boy.
Yeah.
See you in a couple hours.
See you guys.
There he is, Frank Seravalli, NHL.
There's a segment right there.
It's a good-
fellas.
you know, it's a good-
There's
it's a good
fucking
argument.
segment.
It's a good argument. You want to see him. You know what? Here's the thing. You want him to play
Yep.
if he's going to play well and the team's going to play well.
I'm not worried about the team playing poorly in front of him. I think this is as good as the team's played all year. Like a few mistakes last night, but they were right there with the Leafs. I think 5-on-5, they probably have a chance. The Leafs, we talked about it on Afterburner last night. They don't have a Matthews. They don't have a Marner. They don't have a Nylander. It's blue collar. And look, if the kid gets shelled, I know like what we've seen from him is he'll make this something that makes him better. He is a determined, super confident kid. And you got to throw him to Frank's point. There's finally a chance to start him.
Yeah, you can. The problem is to argue the other side. It makes you sound like a jerk because you want him to do well, but Devin Levi was undeniable in Buffalo. He was going to lead him into the playoffs. It's a different game. It's a different AHL and the NHL and
but Devin Levi hasn't lit up the A for 2.5 years.
Why didn't they start him last night then? No one said a word about it
because
last
Vladar
night.
played well and he was coming off one of his better starts of the year. So it's like, okay,
you can poo-poo the 4 or 5 starts there and say, well, he's only had 4 or 5. Well, but now you're going to put the emphasis on one game. So why didn't those other games mean as much?
I think anytime that Markstrom's been hurt and there's been a window, they try to get him some starts. I wouldn't take a start away from him because you're worried about the opponent.
The Oilers game is going to be the catalyst to what the kid's going to be in a way.
No, I mean, I think what it is.
What do you do with him if he does get
shit
pumped?
Fucking good.
What does he get? What do you do? Like
he goes back to the A and he dominates and he prepares for his next opportunity.
You hope.
I'm fine with it. I'm not fine with either way. I just
his whole career he's not been rattled. Yeah. It's a game in January. It's not a series. This isn't like letting in a muffin in the slot to lose a series. This is very different.
It doesn't sound like it's different.
So, and I'll ask you this: do you think there's anything behind closed doors that there would be any trepidation at all over what they saw with Markstrom against the Oilers in that series and his play against them since?
I would love to hear their analysis of what happened with Markstrom because the moment the kid was born last year, everything changed for him. So was it the Oilers series or was it things off the ice? Was there friction outside of the room?
But he was so good against Dallas, Ryan, right? He was lights out.
Everyone was
weak
dog
early.
I don't think
if you got a list of players that played well against Edmonton, it's like 3 guys long. They were
No,
all dog
come
shit.
on
The
now,
top
don't
line
do
was
that.
awful. Oh, I'm
Don't do
serious.
that.
No one played well. The D in front of him was awful. He wasn't good.
They had leads in both games.
The number of grade A's they allowed in that series were night and day way worse than what you saw.
But allowed or the Oilers made. There's a difference.
Right.
You know
because
what I mean?
the Flames D was dog shit. Anderson and Hannahan were playing together. They're fucking awful.
I'm not arguing to be a dick, but it is the Oilers. And they do have the greatest player in the world and maybe the second greatest player, but top 5 for sure. So to say the D was horse shit and they were giving up grade A is kind of taken away from the fact that that team up north, they make grade A. That's what they live on. They create grade A. So
they're going to next year. Are we going to hide Dustin Wolf in the fall next year? Like when is the time? If it's not now,
you're selling it as the D was no good, so that's why they.
How's the D right now?
I mean, I like 4 of them. I don't like the third pair.
Hey, just to jump because I'll forget. Did anyone else notice that Osterley and DeSimone were on? Matthews scored his third.
Can you? Well, you know what?
First.
I was going to, Jack. I'm going to throw a curveball. I was going to get the Rhett Warner because you're a coach and you coach your kids. This is the Nick DeSimone. This was the first that could not have gone more poorly, more quickly than it did for poor.
Yeah, if they have Oliver Shillington, Nikita Zadorov as a third pair, you win that game. Like it's
okay. So
move.
What I'm saying is move that to Saturday.
Yeah. The team Dustin Wolf's going to play for the next 2 years is not going to be deep on defense. They're going to have some holes. Like, I don't know when you're waiting to put them in. When are they going to be really good defensively and not scared by the talent the Oilers have? If they are now, never. Like, you got 2 years left on McDavid, Steele, 1 on Draisaitl's. Like, are you waiting until those guys leave before you put them in net against the Oilers? I don't get it.
I don't know what I guess I'm arguing just to argue today. I just don't get the urgency to do it. The Oilers have won.
I don't get hiding them.
A team record 12 straight, and if they come in against Nick DeSimone and Jordan Osterley, they're gonna and the rookie goaltender, their eyeballs are going to be big as saw.
Everything to do with it.
Last year and a playoff series the year prior.
That was what we're talking about. That's where the breaking occurred, apparently.
Yeah, hasn't been the same since against that team.
Well,
I could argue.
I don't think he's played them much since.
Anyway. It's a good debate.
Guess what? We'll find out tomorrow.
Shit, yeah.
Who's got the call?
I would think with Ryan Husker running the show, it would be goaltending department. So Jason LaBarbera and Jordan Sigalet would say, so here's what we think should happen.
Do they look at it the same way that you would as a fan and as even Conroy? Like Conroy might be like, we got to get this kid in the game.
They have so much info in front of them. Like it might be like, okay, the Oilers create these types of chances and this goalie's better against those type of chances. I don't know. Like they know what they're doing there. They also will have a lot better idea how healthy Jacob Markstrom's at. And
but the way you guys are talking, the way you guys, and I don't care. I actually,
it'd be fun to see him.
To make the game more exciting, I'd rather Wolf go in. I just don't think it's clear cut. And does Conroy, if he's looking at it that way, go down and say, no, put the kid in?
I think at this point of your life cycle in his organization, you don't, as a GM, worry about a goalie start in January.
Well, but that was Frank's point.
Yeah, he's a little strong. He said you have to do it. I don't get that. Like, I would love to see it. I think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a have to do anything.
So just flip it and put you are running the Flames. Their well-being and their future is in your hands. And I say to you, you got to start Wolf Saturday. Yeah. And given the parameters, you're thin on D. The other team is on a franchise record-winning streak.
Mm-hmm.
You need to put that rookie goalie in because you've been holding him back. You haven't cleared a path. Tell me why he needs to start. What if he wins?
I would say
if he's your future, and if you're going to have success, he has to be able to, because he's your future. And if the team's going to have success down the road, he's going to have to beat teams like that.
You want to know what this guy is, and it's not like one night's going to tell you everything. But I get the sense what they know about him. He's just incredibly competitive, and he would love this. He's not afraid. We're afraid for him, is what I think is happening here. The kid would love to get in like crazy.
I'm sure.
And I think that, you don't need to start him at all. I think it's a great opportunity for him to get a start because, to Frank's point, like he's kind of like, what more can I do here, fellas? What more can I do? I'm the best goalie in the league 3 years in a row. I won goalie of the year as a rookie. I was league MVP last year. Like, just let me have more than 5 tries at the NHL level.
So let me ask you this then: if you
play him next week, all 3, like
why didn't you? If you wanted to get him in a pressure situation, there were a lot of eyeballs in last night's game, and whether Dan Vladar played well or not, okay, good, fine, but
maybe the plan is to split these 2 games amongst them the whole time, and it just happens that it was Vladar, Toronto, Wolf, Edmonton.
At the end of the day, I still wonder if Markstrom's going to be ready to go anyway.
Could be. Yeah.
And again, you know what? If he is, what a putz.
Who is a putz?
Markstrom.
I see a putz.
Ruining our debate. We got all this build up for the game. What the? Get out of here, you dumbass.
Don't get me wrong. I think the kid's a player. I don't think he would be rattled. And I don't even think that he would necessarily get shelled. I think it's going to be a good hockey game.
I don't think it's up to him.
I think
because
it's
I think the
I think
best
it's a
players-
small percentage that it could go that worst case scenario, but I don't think it's 0%.
No, but the
No, it's a
problem I have,
non-zero for sure.
I think he's pumped to play, and I'm fine with him playing. The problem is it ain't up to him.
Like Joey Decord went in, and he's on a nice little roll. He had 3 last night and then an empty netter. Am I right? Like, it's Joey fucking Decord. It's not like
Joey Decord is not
the every night here on this run. They're winning low-scoring games.
I mean, that's a silly name to bring up. Joey
They
Decord
played last night. That's the only reason I bring it up. Who did Seattle put in net last night against
Ryan?
Edmonton?
He's not the goal. He's not the goalie in waiting for the Seattle Kraken. He's a goalie on their roster.
It's Edmonton versus Seattle, not the Battle of Alberta.
Yeah, that's fair.
Anyway, whatever. It's great for a debate. It's lovely. But if Marks can come back, he screws it all up.
He screwed the whole thing up. Way to go, Jake.
Just to get broken again, Jacob.
This tweak you got going. I'll say this, though, Retro. You are going to have some excitement coming up on Saturday. We may not see Dustin Wolf, but you know what you're going to see? Matthew Coronado.
It's happening, Matty.
Shut front door.
Feel bad for Marty Pospsil. He took a hell of a spill into the end boards. We know he's got concussions. No good. They're saying he's going to be okay. Shouldn't be out a long time.
Post All-Star break is what Frank tweeted this morning, is the sense that could be that soon, but not the next 2 weeks. Or I guess there only is about 8 days till the All-Star break.
Yeah. So probably regardless of how bad it is, you just give him that time knowing that break is coming. So you hope that he's going to be fine, just given his history
forward, though.
Yeah, potentially, right?
It's hard to play that style of game, and there's already had so many issues with it, right? Like, it's sad. It's sad because you can't play the way he wants to play and avoid contact, right? Like, remember
that was a fluky one, but yes,
I know. But you're playing in the NHL. Like,
yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you. Like, that one wasn't a result of him being Marty Pospsil so much as just an unfortunate incident. But I do agree that he's a guy that runs a higher risk of getting hurt from the way that he plays, and he's got an injury history. It's like watching Chris Tanev. You're like, I love him. He's going to miss some time. Look at how he plays the sport.
That's the thing, is it's the injury history, and he just added to it. And that's
totally.
And the thing of it is, too, you'd love to see him against the Oilers playing the style. Like, you can bring in somebody else, and not to diminish what Coronado can do, but no one else is going to fill that role that he does. That kind of
other pests.
I've got a bit of offense. I come in on the forecheck. I'm going to get under your skin. I might draw a penalty. It's a valuable role.
Missed. Yes.
A valuable role that he's carved out for himself. But yeah, I do think it's going to be Coronado, and I would suspect he'll fit just fine on that right side with Kadri and Zeri.
It'd be cool. Kid's been lighting up.
Kadri needs to play with younger players.
Kadri and the kids. Kadri and the kids.
Kadri and the kids. Benny and the Jets. Something like that. Or you got a sonar coming in?
I thought we had another guest, but I guess not.
Yeah, coming up, bud. Yeah, coming up.
Hey, bud.
Did we cover everything from last night? Matthew's good. The other thing we talked about last night, you'd love in a 1-goal hockey game, you get a power play with 8.5 left in the third.
Yep.
You'd love to get a goal there.
Hey, the power play clicked at 33% last night. That's way better than they do at home.
Yeah. Yeah. Just to bring that in, just to can't all be roses. So there you go. Those are the opening statements.
Just a few.
About an hour of opening statements for McLeod Law. They know what it's. You know what? There's nothing more disheartening than when you're talking to somebody that's important or you need some help, and you're having the conversation like this person. We are not jiving. We are not on the same page. That's not going to happen with the folks at McLeod Law. They're a general firm, personal injury, whatever the legal assistance is that you are in need of. It's you're getting the best of the best, and you're getting good down home, normal folk. Proud of their Calgary roots. Big part of their long-standing client relationships. They understand our city, our people, and the way things work. McLeod-law.com is the website. McLeod-law.com.
Peter doesn't yell like that at the judge. He's a little nicer.
No. Yeah.
Doesn't drop F-bombs like
very professional. He's very professional too.
Very emotional today on the show.
Those two get to sit in a car together for 4 hours.
Yeah, emotions are high. Frank's all right. Frank's okay. We did kind of get screwed out of a good finish. That was the thing after we finished the show last night, right?
Big time, yeah.
It was like, oh, it's not it wasn't even about. It was like, okay, so the Leafs, another blown lead, Flames coming back again. 10 minutes, let's go. Let's see what we got here. Maybe some 3-on-3. It's kind of shitty.
And it's the building was rocking. You sit still for 3
not according to
minutes
Frank. Oh, there were empty seats and people wearing Leaf jerseys. Come on, Frank.
Yeah. No, it's that was a great atmosphere. It always is.
Yeah.
He didn't say that, but it is true.
He was there and said otherwise, but
he was annoyed at what color the people's shirts were. He wasn't talking about the atmosphere.
He hates the Leafs more than people out
here. Is that
here.
possible?
I didn't know if it was possible.
Not for a couple weeks.
Got our Betway bets coming up a little bit later on.
Football pick Friday.
What did I have? I was gonna. You know what? I wanted to show. I got. Did you see Gritty was at it again?
No.
Talking about Philly. And sorry to jump. I'm going to jump this one in here, because remember he was there was a kid. He wanted to date the kid's mom. He brought however that went.
Yeah.
Gritty's. It's possible Gritty's going too far. This was on the Jumbotron. Check out now a nice moment here, right?
Let's see.
Yeah.
Some fans.
Yeah. What's happening? What's happening?
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Villanova.
Down on one knee. Danielle, will you marry me? Oh. Holds up a sign. Mine's bigger. So Gritty comes in, takes the ring away. And look at this.
Whoa!
Come out of here.
Oh, wow.
And look at poor dude. I mean, Gritty's going too far.
If that's what Frank's seeing every night in Philly, I take it all back.
I mean, look, that's Philadelphia.
Dog shit last night. Wow.
Yeah. Sorry, Harvey the Hound wasn't accosting people at the Dome last night, Frank.
Tossing them around.
Tossing people around, scooping up with... Jesus.
Harvey just stealing people's wives? Is that what you want, Frank? Yeah, home wrecker?
You know what? We're more cultured. We're more down home. Neighborly. Friggin' Frank. Let's do the Pinder Report. Presentation of Village Honda Northwest Audible. Online at villagehonda.com. You know what we've told you. If it's new, if it's pre-owned, there's lots of dealerships in the city, but there's the ownership group, and there's Anthony, who I believe is actually, I think he might be on vacation right now.
He's enjoying a little place with great weather. I'm seeing photos.
Either way,
one bit.
We've said it. We've been very lucky to partner with very good people like Peter Klein and McLeod Law, and Anthony and Tanya and everybody at Village Honda, the very same. You walk through those doors, you're going to be treated right. You're going to have great quality, great selection, the best in the business. Village Honda, your dealership for life. Present the Pinder Report.
All right, fellas, let's start. Last night at a very, very drab and uneventful environment at the Scotiabank Saddle Dome. Flames, we've talked about the game a bunch. They do fall, but what lies ahead could be interesting, Dean. So I think Marty Pospsil, if we have to handicap it, and we're not doctors, probably going to miss a little time. Meanwhile, down on the farm, the last 2 months, Matthew Coronado has been absolutely torching the second best league in the world as a right shot right winger, waiting for an opportunity in the top 9. I don't want Marty Pospsil to be gone for long, but if he misses any significant time, I am hungry for some Matthew Coronado, who rifled a goal in Pittsburgh, game 2 or 3 of the season, right up under the bar on the power play, and is a right shot finisher, of which the Flames have had very few since Jerome McGinley.
We would take questions here at the end of this show, and that was always, what's it going to take? When's Coronado coming up? What's it going to take? And with waiver exemption now gone for Pospsil, it's probably going to be an injury. They're not going to send Pospsil down. It just felt like it was going to have to be something like that. You didn't know about Dubé or whatever, but it's unfortunate, and you hate that this is the way it comes about, if in fact it does. But it does make a lot of sense. The fit is perfect for him.
2 things. Where's your glasses? And we spelled Coronado wrong.
Go back. Let's see.
I think that's an AI thing. That's okay. I don't.
Oh, yeah,
don't,
yeah.
We don't do that ourselves. That's computer generated.
Yeah.
Well, we dim the lights, right? We change the lighting atmosphere, and clearly by looking at me, I should have had them on anyway. My eyes get watering, and you don't need.
You got some bad papers on you, Dean. Can they do an eye transplant on you? How does that work? Are you stuck with those?
Something about the corneas. Is that a thing?
Lasers and corneas. You got to be careful.
Corneas and coronados.
Cornhole.
Dino. Here's Ryan Pike from last night on Ryan Huska's reaction to the game. He was not a fan. Stupid plays in the neutral zone that led to turnovers and Leafs chances. Also used the phrase selfish to describe the loss. And if it sounds like he's frustrated, yeah, they definitely could have won that game with less self-inflicted wounds. You watched the Nick DeSimone play on the first goal. I mean, there's a few. Noah Hannahan, a penalty way at the other end from his own net. Like, there's a few silly plays last night for sure.
He was asked also post-game, and I don't know because I went back and I actually texted you because Dylan Dubé and AJ Greer both had 3 shifts in the second and then no shifts in the third period at all after the Pospsil injury. Huska was asked, so Dylan Dubé and Adam Ruzicka both did some spot duty on that second line after the Pospsil injury. What'd you think? He said, yeah, I thought Adam played well. Sorry, Dylan.
Yeah.
It's not
some harsh words.
You get down to 11 and it's tough. And if guys aren't going, you're just going to sit.
You're going to have to sit. It's like Jasper. I got to sit. I accept my role.
No one's giving you that role. You're quitting.
We'll
move.
That.
Here's your Frank bomb from this morning. This is has to do with.
Frank
Do you have a Frank bomb?
It's a Frank bomb.
Frank bomb. Okay. Marty Pospsil, ugly spill last night. Expected to miss a couple of weeks. Likely return after All-Star break. Certainly not season ending. Okay. So Feb 6th, they're back. That is their next one after the All-Star break.
And then small print there. I don't know if you can see it on your screen. Okay. I hate Calgary. Calgary sucks. Frank Seravalli tweet.
You shouldn't let people wear.
Frank bomb.
It's a Frank bomb.
It's a Frank bomb. Yeah.
That's now on command and demand. Whatever. Standings look like this. They do not gain points. They remain one of many mediocre teams that could finish in a wild card. Nashville's not actually ahead of LA. Look at the points percentage, people. Come on.
Well, and you know what? We've talked. Well, I don't know if Minnesota's going to get right, guys.
They're still hurt. They just lost Spurgeon of the year.
They're not
of the year.
They're hurt.
There's talk they might sell Joel Eriksson-Ek, who would be someone in the Elias Lindholm category. Like, ooh, good number 2 center.
Yeah.
So maybe they recoup some assets, shed some salary. They got a couple more years left of the Parise Suter prison. Maybe you get younger and buy some cap space at the deadline.
You see the same, Retro?
Yep. They're toast.
Yeah, and look, if they go on a heater, that's great. They just got Kaprizov back. Their goaltending hasn't been up to snuff. That can get better. But I think they have to be open to the idea of selling at the deadline if unless things change pretty dramatically.
Yeah.
Schedules this, fellas. Some team I've never heard of Saturday. Interesting. Must be an expansion team. Good luck in the league. St. Louis on Tuesday. Johnny back to town Thursday, and there's one below that. It is Chicago on Saturday night. That is the final pre-All-Star game contest. It'll wrap a 6-game homestand. The Flames are currently 1-1 on the homestand.
That's right, through 2. Now, because you talked about it last night, would you say that you're more concerned about the Chicago game than the Edmonton game? Last game before the All-Star break and how they've performed against Chicago?
I just think you can play well and lose to Edmonton. That's not a problem. You have to start getting points against Chicago. You have 0 wins in last
4 straight.
4. And they were dog shit last year, and they're dog shit this year, and they're hurt. It's been some of your worst against Chicago the last 2 seasons. That's a tough one to have the flight to Aruba the next day. You know what I mean?
I think all 3 of those games are tough. After the Leafs come to town, and then they play the Oilers, and you got a week, and then you got teams that you're not jacked up to play that whole week, and it gets real. They might respond better if they get beat by Edmonton. Do you know what I mean? They might go, okay, well,
There's no mailing it in.
Yeah, we got to pull up our socks here. Because there is no sense beating Edmonton and then dropping 2 of the next 3.
Yeah,
Get a little far ahead of them.
They have worked hard. They've only
you're
been
not wrong.
games that haven't worked.
Because I even think about it, it's the Leafs last night, and then the Oilers, and then St. Louis. What do we? Yeah, it's St. Louis. They're the Blues.
And you
right?
said earlier they were dog shit against St. Louis. The only meeting
They were
prior this
terrible.
year, just awful.
Yeah.
St. Louis looked like the Oilers.
World beaters.
Yeah, they were. I was like, man, this team's great.
Do the Harlem Globetrotters play hockey? Because this is them. Nope, the Flames are
believe
just
it.
awful. Okay, here's your schedule tonight. Oh, it's pretty light, fellas. I don't know that I can get up for any of these. What are we excited about here? Jesus. Yuck.
Columbus needs. Can I jump in here?
Yeah, please.
Columbus needs to get involved in the league some way, somehow.
Yeah, I
'Cause
agree.
nobody cares about them. They're horseshit. They need to. I don't know what their salary cap situation is.
Not
but
good.
they need to start chewing on money and make some moves so that it opens things up for other people. 'Cause
Well, the good news is it's a
terrible.
brand new GM who's got lots of leash there, so I expect them to buy some time. Like it's trouble there, boys. The coach doesn't look good. The Babs scenario. Kekalainen's had some swings and misses.
Yeah.
Prospects are asking for changes of scenery. It's no good.
Jonathan. Johnny, what the fuck? Anyway, never
We
mind.
fit him in here.
Come on, Johnny.
Yeah, the salaries of Tanev and Lindholm up, Brett. You sure can.
Johnny, come on. Come on home.
Can he play without Lindholm?
I said.
I think he might be able to.
Yeah.
He hasn't done it in Columbus.
He played well with Monahan and back in the day.
Hey, Monahan's available. Monahan's available.
Yeah, I like the healthy Sean Monahan, not the.
Wouldn't that be
veteran third-line
great?
center.
You trade Monahan to Montreal with a first
Mhm.
to get him out of town. Then you send another pick to get him back. That would be fantastic.
No, the pick won't be a first. That's the only good news there.
Well, either way.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. So we know Pete Blackburn. He's on the Twitter. He's a funny guy. He likes hockey. He's short, but he's funny. And now he's doing some hits on some YouTube TV shows. Let's have a listen here.
There may not be the power in the Eastern Conference as they've been for a little bit now, but the Eastern Conference, in my mind, is wide open. There is not a real standout team, and that's coming from me, a Bruins fan. I'm the biggest Bruins hobo. I'm sorry. That is a wild slip by me. I'm so sorry. I'm the biggest Bruins homer and Bobo in the world. So, oh man, I'm never gonna live that one down. That clip is gonna hit the internet, and it's gonna be.
You're a meme now.
I gotta recover here. The Bruins are not.
Yeah. So Pete Blackburn, massive Bruins homo.
Hey, try doing live sports talk, pal.
That's right. You try it.
Yeah, you Bruins, whatever you called yourself.
Hobo? What? I don't get it.
That's what he said. Yeah.
Maybe
Homo.
tomorrow
I want to settle down.
Maybe
Maybe
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
I'll just keep moving. Am I a hobo? Am I a hobo?
You're a nomad, right? You're not a hobo.
Okay.
You're a transient. You're a squatter.
Oh, I have a question. You know, get the stick over the shoulder and the handkerchief tied up over the end. What's that called?
Oh, we've had this conversation.
There's a word. There's a word for it.
It's a
Oh, fuck.
skillet, sonnet, spigot,
Swami.
slappy, swami.
Samsonite.
I was way off.
I don't know
I'll
what you're
Google it.
talking about.
I got a free T-shirt if someone in the chat has that for us. We'll sort that out later.
Oh,
Next, let's go.
How did that
Big
go?
weekend in hockey.
Sheldon Queef.
Come on, people. You can't be magnifying this shit, Jack. Come on.
Jack.
That wasn't me.
Yeah, it's Sheldon Queef.
Boomer's looking shit over there.
Oh, boom. Come on.
I absolutely did not. I'm on Google. I didn't touch anything. RJ.
Somebody.
What would you even Google? Hobo stick.
Hobo stick
With
handkerchief
bandana?
thing, bandana thing.
It's a bindle.
It's a bindle.
The
You're
bindle
goddamn
is
right. It's a bindle.
colloquially known as the blanket stick.
Okay.
Particularly within the northeastern hobo community.
That's right. The any hobo. That's right. We got to
Two
hustle, I
hobo-
believe.
Two hobos walking along railroad tracks after being put off a train were carrying bindles. A bindle
Bindle.
stiff in other regions.
Love it.
Thank God.
Big NFL weekend. We got to hustle because Dregs is going to be here soon. Is he not?
All right. 15, 16 minutes.
Oh, okay. I thought he was now. We got lots of time. We're good.
Yeah.
Here's some of the matchups of the weekend, fellas. Lovely art. Look at this. Oh, look at Brock. Isn't that a nice, polite kid? You'd let him date your daughter.
Brock
These
Lobster.
guys are meaner.
These guys look more intense. Look at the Houston. We're here to mess up your season. And how about Mark Andrews is full participant in practice?
Yeah, look at Andrews in the back there.
Oh, he's lurking.
I don't
He's
know if
like,
I'm
"I am
playing, but
back."
if I do,
You thought I was dead. I am alive.
I'm a game time decision. But boy,
And
if I
Brett?
get in there,
Tell us you're going.
Oh, I'm going.
Yes. He's
to
going.
Baltimore.
No,
No,
this
I'm
is
not going to
Bills.
Baltimore because the Texans are going to beat Baltimore, and we're going to play the Houston here at home
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
in the
By
30.
the way, Post
Wasn't
Malone?
that the biggest comeback ever? Bills Stadium, Houston, Buffalo, Warren Moon.
Oh, wow. Oilers. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
they were up
It's way
like
back.
34-2.
So they must have won that game to go to the Super Bowl to lose again, right? Is that correct?
I was
Sorry.
waiting for Frank to pull that out
Yeah.
today. I started taking pot shots at him.
That's right.
Here are your odds. Saturday games look like this. 9.5 points. 9.5 points. Okay. So the favorites are favorites. And why not? They're both coming off buys. The Sunday games, closer lines. Tampa 6.5. They stunned a Philly team that we have no idea how to feel about. And then there's 3 points, a field goal. Kansas City in the playoffs getting a field goal.
So, okay,
Big bet coming up later.
we'll talk about it.
Yeah, I'll talk
Is it
later.
for them? Okay, good. Rhett, sorry about your wife leaving you to go shovel the stadium again. They're paying
$20 is $20.
That's right.
She's been gone for days.
I read this morning it's $20 an hour, but you do have to bring your own shovel. They're not
I'm
supplying
actually
shovels, people.
I'm actually starting to wonder if she's still shoveling or if she's up to something else. That Rob Ray hasn't been around much either.
Rat, no.
Jesus, Robert. Maybe they're opening a shovel store by the stadium. It could be. Why is your brain going there, Rhett? Come on. And it's funny with coaches in the NFL. You notice like they have the coaching trees. There's some similarities, and this guy worked that. Jay Kuda laid out another banger for us yesterday. Okay, you ready for the Jay? There's Mike's, there's Mick's, and there's Sean's. You got a Mike McCarthy. You got a Sean McVay, Sean Mick. Like it's some pretty good coaches in there. So if you're not a Mike, a Mick, or a Sean, I don't know that you should be getting into coaching in the NFL.
Wow.
Well, I don't know if McCarthy is any good. So.
Yeah, I don't either. But I think he's perfect for Dallas.
What about
Know what I mean?
McDermott? If things go sideways this weekend, will McDermott get Mick fired?
I don't know. Like if you lead your team to the playoffs 5 years in a row and you get a couple home games every year, and I don't know.
Yeah, it's not like the guy openly made a reference to Al Qaeda in a 9/11 event midway through the season.
I don't remember that.
They haven't lost since.
What about Big Bill? Get Big Bill in there.
Bill
Not
Parcells?
a Mick, not a Sean. He must be
Yeah,
retiring.
Bill Parcells.
He's coming back.
No.
Cavalry FC, there's snow out there and it's cold, but they announced their home opener yesterday.
Messi?
Let's have a look. No Messi yet. This is the CPL season. Pacific's coming to town, part of the schedule release. Late April, 3:00 on a Sunday. I love it. Whew.
I
Can't
wish
wait.
they could
It's actually-
body check.
There will be nice weather again. It won't always be cold and snowy. No Messi yet. They're going to go to Victoria to play their opening leg against the team they're facing in that tournament. Oh, we're going to Jasper, boys. Are you ready?
That looks nice.
Look at some of the
Look at this
highlights
guy.
from last year. The undefeated Flames Nation, Blasty Pinders.
Yeah,
It's a big shoes to fill here from some of the new fellas.
true.
There's the Wolverine. I don't know if that's pre or post concussion or pre or post double Caesar. Could be all the above.
It's probably post all of the above. Yeah.
There's a lot going on there. Look at that face. Scrambled egg.
It's a ragtag looking bunch.
It sure is.
Luckily, we've added RJ and Jack to the
Yeah.
group. Really gonna raise our
Went from grinders
quality.
to high-end skill. Good job.
We got a goalie from Russia. Don't worry about us. There's no goalies? Oh, fuck. And finally, we close the Pinder Report. It's been a while.
It's been a while. Is that Stained?
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah.
But
Better
one
not
of
tell
our
that story.
old friends has checked in
Old friend.
from down under.
Let's
Aussie
go.
Brad.
Boom, boom. Pinder, Retro, Man Cave, boys. New year. So I'm hoping the boys are going to be up and about. Tonight, Friday night here. Fuck, we've had a few stubbies. Everyone's sort of gone to bed. It's not that late, but fucking no, I've had a good time. 24, I want to show you this. So we've come over to 24 here, this boy. 23 last year, that's how many stubbies. This year we've started off all right at 24. And now we're trying to watch these pricks get through these fucking dog cunts. So we'll see how we go tonight. I'm fucking pretty up and about. I'm optimistic about tonight. Fucking, I don't know why Tree's not there tonight. I'm with you fucking blokes. I don't know. Why the fuck didn't he show? Is he a chicken ass motherfucker? Or is he just really scouting? I don't fucking reckon he's scouting, boys. I don't know. I reckon he's fucking chicken shit. I'll tell you one thing. Fucking good man like Kingy over here, he'd be fucking there. He'd face the music. I'm telling you, fellas, I don't know. But either way, I'm settling back. Got the fire here, boys. Got the stubby up there, fellas. And I'll be watching this game. Go fucking play the UK Puncher, Boomer!
Oh boy, Aussie Brad. Nice.
What a set!
Now, what did he call the Leafs again? I missed that. It was
Some dog is
dog
season.
runts. I
Yeah,
don't know.
dog is, yeah, it's a lot in
Oh,
there.
the rent, yeah.
Yeah. Treliving took it a bit there from old.
Well,
Aussie
and
Brad.
to be fair, Treliving was there. He changed his plans and showed up. It was classic Treliving misdirection.
No montage. That's probably why he said I'm not going to be there, so they gassed the montage.
Well, that's what I mean. He doesn't want them to do anything special. Probably wheeled in a couple minutes late, used the side door, in he goes.
Yeah.
Change of plans.
He's a lot, he's a lot smarter when he's got the best goal scorer in the world. I noticed that.
Yeah, I think when you're down 1 after 20, you're probably not as nervous as a lot of other teams after the badly as they played in the first. Like, that's
How
fine.
about, you know what? How about that Aussie Brad setup?
It's good. Yeah, Jack
Got
was
the
saying that's
fire
a hell
going.
of a man cave.
Perfect. And
you know
not some little wimpy fireplace.
I was
No,
gonna
no,
say,
no.
not some little. You got your propane tank.
No.
I like that he's got a new bottle opener for 2024.
And then they
Yeah, we've
fall and
moved
there's
on.
a pile.
All that and stubbies. That's last year. This is
Yeah.
the starting fresh. He is a beacon of hope for all of us.
For society.
I just be like Aussie Brad.
Be like Brad.
Yeah, be like Brad.
We got to get him up here. He should be coming to Jasper. I don't think he's afraid of the cold weather.
I think you're 100% wrong. I think we have to go there.
Well, I think it's see all the above. I agree that we should do that. I also think you should come here too. We need more.
We did
Aussie
a
Brad in
week
our
of
lives.
shows from the Aussie Brad Man Cave. We'd sponsor the shit out of that thing,
Yes.
right?
I think the time change, it's interesting. Like, let me see what time it is in Oz right now, because it might actually be like us banged up at 1 a.m., which could be some of the best shows we ever do.
Yeah,
Oh
what
my-
time is
well,
it?
yeah, let's go.
Melbourne.
Yeah, I'm not even. I'm a little worried about some of the wildlife situation there.
Yeah, we'll just stay in the man cave. Stay close to the fire.
Have some wallaby come up through the toilet and bite you in the shitter. But
What's the dog's name? Trigger. You get Trigger by your side, you'll be fine.
Trigger? Fucking keep punching.
4:23 a.m.
Oh, 4:20 in the morning. That's horrible.
That's
we gotta
too
stay up
far.
late.
Yeah.
You'll
know
be
what,
waking up. I'll be staying up.
We could do a late start and we could start
Or-
at 7.
pre-record.
We pre-record.
Oh.
Yeah.
Drop it at 10.
Bang one out at midnight, Aussie time, and then it'll drop at the usual slot here.
Bang one out at midnight and then do the show.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Hmm.
I bet. You know what? I do that with this show with a
Oh,
10 a.m.
God.
start. Sometimes I got to
Okay,
bang one
that's your
out.
Pinder Report. Thank
What?
you, Dean.
Village Honda. All makes, all models, all budgets. New, used, 70 units on site, 400 more inside the dealership group. Make Village Honda your one-stop automotive destination in Calgary. They are worth the trip. Located in the Northwest Auto Mall. You said something there. I effed my focus. You said Vina Nova when we were watching that gritty video. We are less than a month away to Valentine's Day.
Oh,
Less than a month. Less than a month, boys. We got to get things figured out. Justin is, you know what? He's doing come on. Barn
He'll
burners.
take care of you.
Send all the barn animals over. We'll take care of them. he did say it was around Christmas because we had the 3 stars, the 3-tiered deals.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what? Got a lot of the barn burner guys coming in. They don't really know what they're doing or what they're looking for,
But they know to trust me.
And I said, that's what you're getting. Look, we told you that's what we're going to be sending your way. It's going to be good guys, but they're going to be lost in the woods. You're going to have to direct them.
Yeah.
But that's where it's lab grown diamonds. You don't even hear people talk about the old timey diamonds.
Justin's ahead of the curve on this, man.
Passe.
Love it.
75% savings, 80%, 60%. You're going to save a ton on the lab grown. Either you're getting more for your dollar or you're saving a bunch of dollars on a great gift, earrings, bracelet, ring, whatever it is. And what I've done, we set up the day. It's going to be a nice day. We're going to go have lunch. Then we go to Vina Nova. You pick out something nice for yourself. It's a win-win-win for everybody. VinaNova.com, second level of Stephen Avenue Place, downtown. Get on it. Feb 14, I believe.
Great
is
restaurant
Day.
there.
And
lunch visit is a great idea.
Listen. Valentine's Day is not like Christmas. Well, you can't miss Christmas, right? Valentine's Day, it can sneak up on you real fast.
Oh, that's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it's not being sung. When you turn the radio on in your car, it is not Christmas music for a month straight or Valentine's music, right? Like
there's no holidays. Kids aren't done school for 2 weeks. It can sneak up on you. You're right.
Valentine's can be like, oh shit, tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm screwed. Don't do it. We're warning you.
We'll have some steady reminders between now and then over the next month. We'll do our best, but we know that we're all dumb. Guys are dumb. We forget stuff. It's like you say, Red. It can slide right by if you're not paying attention. Just a quick update here from the chat. There's Deeper. Just finished my stretches before the drive to Jasper.
Oh baby, is he hitting the road already?
Deeper, good commitment.
Attaboy, Deeper. Attaboy.
There, settle in, get the road.
Do you think he is aware how much of this weekend's success for Flames Nation is resting on his shoulders?
I only think it's sort of 60 to 70%, and I know there's 5 or 6 of us, but as long as he wants to perform like Austin Matthews, I'm not concerned about our team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you just want to be the best, that'd be great.
Yeah, 3 and count on 2 from the rest of us. Come on, maybe 1.
Yeah. Now I wasn't here on Monday, but I heard that you trotted out one of our new sponsors, Douglas Mattress.
That's right. Yes.
Named Canada's best mattress on Canadian Living. Over 200,000 Canadians have gotten on board. They have Douglas Mattress in their home. 10,000 5-star reviews. I want you to, because I missed it, and because I have a Douglas Mattress, and I want to talk about it, but I just want to get your next week, because I'll get into it, because I have a story about my old mattress and my new Douglas Mattress. You can tell by my tone that things are going well, but
yes,
give me your experience again.
Well, I just think we're so keen to oh my gosh, this milk's a day over. We got to go get some, and we're leaving mattresses for 30 bleeping years. What are we doing here, people? This is gross. I started thinking about when I met my wife and how long that mattress had been. No, we need. What are we doing here? Thank you, Douglas, for reminding me we can upgrade this. It doesn't need to be a luge run on each side of the middle, bleep that.
It's amazing technology. It shows up at your door in a box.
Tiny, for a king mattress. It's a small box. It opens up as soon as you get it out of the plastic. And I love that I can get in and out of it without waking up the boss.
Yeah, it's shows it's easy online ordering, delivered in a box to your doorstep, free shipping, coast to coast to coast. With Douglas, it's industry-leading risk-free trial, 365-night risk-free trial. That's a lot of nights, Retro. That's a lot of nights.
It's damn near
a decade, I'm told. Yeah.
And if you do 365 nights, you throw in some naps, in there, you're getting a lot of use.
Do you guys nap?
Oh, yeah.
I wish I could.
I try if I can. I'd love a good nap. If you don't like it, you get a full refund, no questions asked. and they donate mattresses to local charities. Every mattress order comes with a free comfort sleep bundle, 2 memory foam pillows with pillow protectors, 1 luxurious cotton sheet set, and 1 mattress protector, which is, you got to have that. A $650 value, yours free when you order a Douglas mattress now. Go and check it out online. Order today, douglas.ca/FlamesNation. I'll say it again, douglas.ca/FlamesNation. To your door, risk-free, 365-day trial, and that comfort sleep bundle showing up, $650 value. It's an unbelievable deal. Proudly made right here in Calgary, ensuring the highest quality materials and fastest delivery to you. I know you've probably seen it you've seen commercials or you've seen it online. Don't wait. Don't just take our word for it. Get that thing in your house. No regrets. Douglas.ca/FlamesNation.
If I said it sleeps cool, do you think I would have my sunglasses on like Boomer while I'm sleeping, or what would I mean?
Not as cool as how mine's sleeping, I'll tell you that.
You know what I hate? When it's like sweaty, hot mattress. Let it breathe, baby. That's good.
Let it breathe.
Love it.
And it has Douglas. It's my old man's name.
It is. Douglas. Douglas.ca/FlamesNation. Let's get to our NHL Insider. Brought to you by TELUS. We go to the Insider Hotline, a presentation of TELUS, where you can enter to win one of 6 monthly prizes, including tickets to Calgary hockey games, awesome tech like AirPods, Apple Watches, and more. No purchase necessary. All you have to do is fill out a quick survey to enter. For your chance to win, go online, TELUS.com/Flames contest from TSN. Our boy, Darren. How we doing, Dregs?
Doing okay, fellas. Doing okay. No issues.
You look very good. Have you lost some weight? You're shaven.
Business casual today.
Hey, look at Dregs. You look like you're about 30, 35 years old.
Golfing today? Why are you so excited?
Yeah, you know what? End of the week. Not a lot going on. It was a busy week. We had a good week. Yeah. So I'd like to report I've lost some weight, but that's not entirely true. I had lost some weight. Then the holiday season hits. I feel like I probably gained some back. I did shave this morning though, so that might be like, and I got a haircut. So yeah.
Look at you, see. And you know what? It's because I don't like the way it's set up because you're right next to my fat face, so it hurts me and it helps you. So you're.
I got a haircut too, Dregs.
I'm not gonna lie. Before I was brought into the segment, I guess I was admiring. Like I was looking, going, "Geez, that's a lot of curl." What do we call that? Like, is it?
This is a mullet. Yeah.
Yeah.
We went to the mullet arena last week, Dregs. It was phenomenal. It was unbelievable. So we were rocking the mullet at the mullet, and I had an adult that came up to me yesterday. You are a father. You have children. You are a grown man. What are you doing with that hair? So I think I have to keep it a little longer.
Yeah.
Good for you. I saw, just off topic a little bit, and I'm not going to do the impression or replay what we saw, but I'll just invite anybody paying attention here. I can't remember what the press conference was. It was a Raptors press conference, but I think it was, somebody doing the game or whatever. And we've all been in that environment where the fans are behind you and all of this. There's a grown man and his son. Did you see this, Boomer? Have you seen this?
No.
Okay. Well, it probably is easy to find. It was this week. And he's waving from behind the interview, and his son is waving and all this. And then you remember the movie Kingpin with Woody Harrelson?
Yeah.
And there was the bedroom scene. With,
Oh dear. Paying rent?
Yeah. I mean, come on,
no,
man.
he didn't do that.
The dad does this
with
his son standing beside. So anything, Ryan, you went through, that fails in comparison, I think.
Yeah.
Thank you, Drex. A little perspective is important.
It's a sponsored segment, or I'd start rattling off some lines from that. What is it about good? Anyway. I just quickly, while we were coming in, take a look. Points percentage. Yep, there they are, still tops in the league. The Winnipeg Jets.
Wow.
We're talking, especially here, where we'll see what happens with the Flames. But Elias Lindholm, where are they going to be traded? Well, we talk about Boston, and we talk about Colorado, we talk about Carolina, New Jersey, whatever. What are the Winnipeg Jets going to do? They're in unprecedented positioning in the National Hockey League standings. Kyle Connor back, and what's their goaltending looks to be okay. What do the Jets need to do? What are they hoping to do?
Well, they'd like to add a center to the point you're making here. And every contending team wants to add depth on their blue line. I mean, that's just a staple every year. They're looking for a 2 center. Lindholm might be a little bit too high of a piece of real estate for the Winnipeg Jets, given what they want to give up. Sean Monahan makes some sense. I mean, I think he'll be option B for a lot of teams, but the center market really hasn't fully exposed yet. And it probably won't until after the All-Star break, because you get a little bit deeper into the month of February. When Calgary gets to that place where they're genuinely in a position to trade some of these pieces, Lindholm being among them, they're not going to have a problem finding the suitors. We've talked about it before. You look at Colorado, you look at Boston, Winnipeg certainly in the market. Edmonton is in the market. Not that Calgary and Edmonton are likely going to do business at that level, but yeah, I mean, Winnipeg's the real deal, as we can see. The eye test shows us that, but they also know that these seasons can be fleeting, right? They can be fleeting. So you'd better make sure to have all of the question marks erased going into the playoffs as best you can without deeply mortgaging the future. So there'll be a player at center and perhaps on defense.
I heard the name Joel Eriksson echoed there, and I don't know if that was wild speculation or if that's actually a conversation. He's locked up forever for the Wild, but it kind of looks like a lost year for the Wild, the flip of what you're talking about with Winnipeg, where it's like, hey, this could be a year. Do you think that's something that could be broached? I do think he doesn't have any no-move protection. You want to talk 2C, a guy that's having a nice offensive year. That's a good player.
A real good player, and automatically I can't dismiss it, because Billy Guerin as a general manager is like Brad Treliving. He's in on so many different conversations, and tongue-in-cheek can be critical of his fellow general manager because nobody wants to step up to the plate and actually do anything. They just like to talk about it. But Billy is not that. I mean, he can be a gunslinger. So that's why I'm not saying no. But they're also a team that knows that they're better than what they are right now. And that's why he came out recently and said, we're not moving out pieces until we have a full handle on where we're at this season. If they dip moving forward, then I think he's open to any conversation, right? And that's kind of where some of the speculation around Marc-Andre Fleury has been born. But it gets complicated with some of the pieces in Minnesota. Fleury does have full trade protection. He has the full no-move clause. And as his agent, Alan Walsh, has reminded many of us this week, Flower isn't going anywhere unless it's an opportunity to win a Stanley Cup and he's actually the goalie. He's not going in as insurance. He doesn't have much interest in being a backup. So if a contending team, unfortunately, has an injury, which happens, of course it happens, then I think he'd be willing to listen to something like that. So I can't say that Billy isn't willing to do something pretty significant. I just feel like for him, it's a little bit early.
Rhett, did you want to jump in there? I was just to get back to Winnipeg. I'm trying to just off the top of my head, Kevin Hayes, they brought in, I think they gave up that first round pick that year, and it was not a success story.
No.
Kevin Cheveldayoff traditionally, I think, is kind of on the more passive side. We keep waiting, and Rhett, we've talked about the one year they brought in Jordy Ben when they
that's the year for me where they were real good and they needed a defenseman, and Jordy Ben.
Kind of fell flat. I just wonder do he and the whole brain trust there, do they look at it and say it's as wide open as it's ever going to be and we're as strong as we've ever been,
right?
Push chips to the middle. I don't know what Elias Lindholm would cost. I don't know what they have. It feels like they draft and develop really well.
You do.
Yeah. They'd have some assets I would think they could probably shed. I don't know.
Yeah, I would think so. But, you're always, if you're Craig Conroy, you got to like the fit, because what you're not going to like is, and okay, the other side of this is, where does Newport Sports fit into the equation? If you're giving up the assets that are required to trade for Elias Lindholm, you want a real good crack at extending him and keeping him moving forward. And that isn't going to be cheap. We've followed closely on that file, and there hasn't been dialogue really between Newport and Calgary, largely because, it's probably Lindholm who's interested in exploring the market, if not wanting change. So whoever makes that trade, unless it's a perfect fit, is probably going to have to pay that premium. So that will factor in. I mean, Winnipeg they have some cap space, but mostly they're a cap team. So I'm not saying no to it. I mean, they might have the pieces that come into play. But when one Canadian team deals with another, especially inside the conference, it gets complicated because Winnipeg they're loaded for years to come here. The Scheifele contract now, Connor Hellebuck, he's juiced up. They'll get Cole Perfetti signed. I mean, he's a restricted free agent. So it could be year after year of watching the team get better.
Well, the question I was going to have again is that when is making a trade actually a negative? Because you got guys slotted in there, the team's playing well. You got to be sure the chemistry doesn't change. Like it happens too often. Only one team wins, but it happens too often where teams that look like front runners that go on a long run make a trade and it actually goes in reverse for them.
It does. And normally, because of, again, the cap implications for so many of these contending teams, we're talking about expiring contracts. So you're talking about rentals. And when's the last time a good rental, a top rental in the market was traded and it paid off? Doesn't happen very often. And then you let that piece walk for free and you're sitting there going, geez, we gave up a first, we gave up this, we gave up that. And we ended up losing in the second round of the playoffs. So, I think that there's some sensitivity around that for sure. And in Winnipeg's case, I think, Rhett, you make an excellent point here. They're a really good team. And when they get healthy, there's supposed to be an update on Mark Scheifele coming up here. They didn't expect that he'd be out as long as he is. It's turned out to be something more significant. So we'll see whatever that update is. I haven't had it sent to me yet. But when they're healthy and you see the chemistry that's going to continue to form between a guy like Velarde and Kyle Connor, I mean, I'm not sure they need a whole lot more.
We had Noodles on. We have Noodles on every Wednesday. He brought up a couple of things that I'm going to pass through now. Not that I'm looking for you to clean up a mess or anything like that. I'm not, throw Noodles. But he was, obviously, we're very focused on the Flames here and what they might be doing. He brought up the name Bowen Byram in Colorado. It's not the first time we've heard his name. I think maybe even we've talked about him. If Colorado is going to look for a second line center, could it be Lindholm, that sort of thing? And if Bowen Byram is available, our question was, why would Bowen Byram be available? His contention was that, well, there's some depth there. You're not going to keep everybody. There's some guys you're certainly not keeping. Just your read on that Colorado defense, and is Byram the one that possibly could be used as currency if they're going to make a deal?
I mean, it's possible. I've heard that name, but not from anyone direct in Colorado. And normally what I do when I hear names like that, where you go, geez, he's a pretty good player and teams don't often give up, and still relatively young defense. We know what his history is with injuries. So is that a bit of a concern for the club? Maybe, although that feels like it's fading. So I did ask a couple of teams, and the response I got was, well, is he in play? I'm like, no, I'm asking you that question. Have you heard that? And again, just two teams, so I'm not scouring the market here, and both said they hadn't heard that. But if, again, making your point, Dean, if you're trying to acquire a two center, I mean, that's a high quality position, right? So you're going to have to give quality up. And if Byram is, if they're willing to throw him into the equation, then I would think that would get the attention of the Calgary Flames or any other team that's willing to part with centers. And I'm going to repeat myself here. The center market really isn't that deep, is it? At least not yet. Like we're not talking about many other centers being in play outside of a couple or a few. So that'll establish itself more so after the All-Star break. But Byram would get the attention of a lot of GMs.
And the thing is, too, with Lindholm, a couple of things. The Flames would have the ability to eat some salary, and there's no trade protection, which is – so it's a thin market, and who's to say if any of the other centers have that kind of availability. So
what can he – like, he's hardly played 5 years, and it's like he's still less than 150 games. That speaks to a massive injury risk. Like how anything on that, or is it just, it is what it is? Like, guys are injured until they're not.
Well, yeah, I think so, but there's no doubt that teams inquiring and expressing interest would have that deep concern in the back of their mind. I mean, there was a point at one point, I want to say a year or so ago, where there was some question as to whether or not this kid was going to be able to come back and play again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's kind of where he was at. So the longer he stays healthy in the league, more at ease, probably he feels, and the Colorado Avalanche feel, and maybe those who are making these calls. But I can't remember if it was Ken Hitchcock or who it was. It was an old school coach years ago, told me point blank, you don't know what you're getting in an NHL defenseman, or Rhett, you weigh in on this, until they've played 300 NHL games. When you've got that heft of resume behind and underneath you, then you know what you're getting. So even though he's a sexy name, absolutely, for a lot of reasons, it could be buyer beware.
I actually agree with that, because even here in Buffalo, Darlene did it. He came in, had a great first year. This is what my trend has always been for defensemen. It feels like they come in, they play really good, and then there's a dip for a year or two. Not that they're bad, but they have a hard time maintaining it. And then year 4, all of a sudden, it just starts to happen for them. So you see it with lots of guys. It's not an odd thing. Owen Powers is going through it right now here in Buffalo. Had a great first year and is seemed to be struggling this year. So get it some games in, and who knows?
Yeah, agreed.
He also brought up, he says, you talk about Boston, it's just Patrice Bergeron. Every time, he's just hanging. He's out at the rink. Has he got skates in his bag? Has he got his stick in the truck? What's going on? It would not seem crazy from a long ways away to think that this guy would keep himself in shape. He's super smart. He is a slam dunk Hall of Famer. What an ad he could be for the Bruins.
Well, and we know, Brad Marchand, I think, has basically admitted that he's pestering him daily. Like, come on, man, you can come back. Let's make another run for this. Let's have some fun. I mean, Marchie would be tremendous at trying to do that. As soon as, I think it was our buddies on Spit and Chicklets who first lobbed out that possibility. So automatically, I go into the fact checking mode, and I checked in with his agent, Phil Cavalier, and he said, "Oh, well, that would be a surprise to me." He said he certainly hasn't hinted that. And then following up, I don't know which Boston reporter it was, but I follow a slew of them on social media. And one of them actually got a hold of Patrice and quoted him as saying, no, I'm not coming back. So unless there's a sudden change of heart, but I mean, Patrice Bergeron wouldn't have gone into retirement half-heartedly. I mean, he would have been considering this for a lengthy period of time. But when you look at the Boston Bruins, I mean, more so than Colorado or some of the teams that are in the market for a centerman, the Boston Bruins actually need depth in that position. They had a 19-year-old kid, Matthew Potter, playing center. He's been out with a shoulder injury, and there's some question as to whether or not he's going to be able to come back or whether he needs that shoulder surgically repaired. I mean, you're talking about kids playing third line center or wingers having to play center. And I see they've got Geeky playing center now. Yeah. And Jimmy Montgomery he's a master at, moving his lines and shaking things up and putting versatile players in different positions and all that. But obviously in Boston, it's a deep area of need. So I think that probably promotes that speculation more than anything.
Good time to sell centers, boys.
And I guess just a thought on Bergeron. Such an unceremonious end to the season. They have the best regular season ever. You just feel like they are poised to put on a tear through the postseason. To see, obviously, we all remember Marchand, tears in his eyes, those guys embracing as they left the ice. No one, including them, saw that coming. If he says no, it's no. But I think even from, again, as a hockey fan, Patrice, you deserve a better ending than that. Not to say
and more than that,
cup, but don't go out that way.
Did he not bulge a disc in his back in a meaningless game 82 in Montreal because he wanted to slide one more like that? That's the real untold story of what the Bruins is. Like, he's gimping around with a bad back and they lose a 3-1 lead. Like if he's healthy, there's no way.
And isn't it always the body that tells you when you're done? The heart is there. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the heart is there.
The heart will stay for 10 years after. He'll still think he can do it. It's your body. Regier said it. I've said you go to the rink, 4 hours early just to get ready to go on the ice. It's a long haul. Your body will let you know.
And, you know, he's a player that could play at 50, 60% and still make an impact. But for him to back away the way that he did, the fashion that he did, and he's doing it for the right reasons, right? I mean, he's a young dad, wants to be able to play with his kids and get on the ice with his kids and do all of that. I mean, as you guys know, so he comes back and he plays a partial season, and I don't believe he's coming back. We've established that, but he plays a partial season, maybe the playoffs. It takes one hit, not even a hit. I mean, it could be something very simple, and then all of a sudden he's twisted up and he's regretting doing it for the next 10, 20, 30 years of his life. So I'm just not buying it at this stage.
Doing that, I don't know, is it Sesame Street? One of these things is not like the other. Just looking at the league standings, top to bottom, in terms of points percentage. And okay, so we got Winnipeg, Boston, Vancouver, Colorado, Florida, the Rangers, Dallas, Vegas is there. Philadelphia ahead of I guess 622, tied with the Edmonton Oilers.
Wow.
Yeah. What is happening with Philadelphia?
Well, a little bit of everything. And I'm going to start with John Tortorella, who, you know, I think we all can appreciate. Number one, from a media standpoint, he just gives us fodder every time they put a mic in front of his face, because he just calls it like he sees it. And, you know, he's not worried about hurting feelings, whether that's coaching or dealing with the media. But I think what we're learning here yet again is John Tortorella reinventing himself and proving that he's a hell of a hockey coach, right? And, you know, they've got some good pieces there, but there was so much dysfunction around that team coming into this year that I don't think the pieces kind of knew where they fit. So Torts kind of figures some things out. They clean up some areas that they needed to clean up. You know, they come in with Keith Jones and Danny Briere, and promises are made that they're going to rebuild the foundation of this team, but they're going to do it in a manner that doesn't include a fire sale. Like, yeah, they made a heck of a trade in sending Cutter Gauthier, who didn't want to play for Philadelphia, to the Anaheim Ducks. Oh, they only get a right shot defenseman who's probably going to be a star in the NHL at some point in Jamie Drysdale. And there are other moves that they're going to make or not make. I mean, we've been talking about Sean Walker and Nick Seeler being on the block for months, but they're comfortable enough. And they believe that these guys will be fair in the offseason. So they may use them as own rentals if there's actually a playoff march, and find other ways to get better moving forward. So really, from top to bottom, from management all the way through to the players who deserve the most credit, they're a heck of a story this year.
Because it's kind of self-serving. Because here, as we watch Hannahan and Tanev as potential trade bait, you hear about Philadelphia and Seeler and Walker, and it's like, oh, are they in a spot where, no, how the hell are we trading these guys? Like you say, they're our own, they're self-rentals. We're keeping those guys. So, but to your point about Torts, he's had success in so many different places. And you talk to people, it's just Tortorella guy. He's a tyrant. He's this, he's that, and nothing's universal. I don't think Kevin Hayes would be a fan, but so many guys loved him. Corey Sarich here in Calgary played for him, obviously, back in the Tampa Bay days. Can't say enough good things about him.
Yeah. I mean, isn't it always about communication? Tell me what you want me to do, and I'll try and do that. You know, don't tell the media what you think I should be doing. Tell me what you think I need to do. You know, that's just kind of 101 stuff. But hey, he'd be on my Jack Adams ballot pretty high. You know, I mean, you look at Rick Tocchet, you look at Rick Bowness, and of course there are others that require, you know, recognition. But if I were voting today, Torts, he'd be number 3 at worst right now, number 3 behind those two guys.
Anything going on as we head into the weekend? We're kind of rounding the corner here. All-Star break coming up.
We're going to be out your way in a week. Yeah, a couple weeks.
Yeah, and no, there's not a whole lot going on. I mean, we're watching a couple of teams. The LA Kings just look miserable right now.
Yes,
they look miserable. And Rob Blake comes out yesterday and says that, you know, the idea of firing Todd McLellan hasn't crossed his mind. He hasn't really given it any thought. And I'm not calling Blakey out at all. But I also know that even that game last night, they look discombobulated. So at some point, something is going to have to give there, whatever it is, or they're going to have to figure out how to push the buttons of Pierre-Luc Dubois, because no good.
That's what I was going to say. There's a trend here.
It's 3 teams now.
But I think there's a trend here where there's a lot of ability, but there's not a lot of go get it kind of attitude. I want what I want. Be nice.
They took some beloved guys out of that Kings dressing room and brought in one guy who's
a disgruntled
got
guy
some
wherever
baggage.
he goes.
Wow.
Well, and
go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, just the other move they made this offseason no one talks about is they get a second rounder for Sean Dursey, who looks way better than anything that should be traded for a second rounder. So you look at the Winnipeg swap and the Coyotes swap, and you're like, both the teams they did those trades with now, and it's early. We're a half year into these trades. It looks like they're landslides for the other guys, and as deep as the Kings were, and I love the name bars down the middle when you got Byfield on the wing and you're still going Kopitar, Danault, Dubois, but they might lose both those deals. They were supposed to set them up for a theoretical cup run here.
Yeah, and throw Sean Walker into the mix too. I mean, he was playing deeper, on that blue line. You've got some pretty big horses back there, but that's where it gets problematic, I would think, for management, because everybody is a boss, including Rob Blake and Luc Robitaille. So is someone with ownership going, okay, well, how did we miss? What happened here on Pierre-Luc Dubois? He did not work in Winnipeg, did not work in Columbus, but we thought that he was going to work here. Like, what did you try and convince me? What did you guys see? Because the 3 pieces that we sent to Winnipeg, 2 of the 3, Kapari's coming back online. I mean, Winnipeg's they're not. Winnipeg's not as good as they are. They're not even close. If Pierre-Luc Dubois is playing in Winnipeg the way he's playing in LA, the Winnipeg Jets are not where they are as we have this conversation. That has to fall on management. It has to.
That's good. For me, it goes back. It's a stupid term, but if you got guys that are keep begging, they want to be treated a certain way, and I need this, and I'm not going to play my hardest here. It speaks to character. It speaks to character. And if you don't have character, you ain't going to win.
Yeah. Imagine the conversations that Dubois and Anze Kopitar have had. I'm assuming. Or Drew Doughty. They've got some boys in that line that know how to win. They've played through a lot. Every player that's been in the league as long as those 2 guys played through a lot. And you're seeing, and when Dubois is motivated, fellas, he's fun to watch, isn't he? He's a horse.
That's the thing, right? He's a flick of a switch away from, he could take over a series. When he's engaged physically, and
then he's mean.
I had a guy after the game last night who was at that game, sent me a note, said Todd McLellan looks like he wants to murder Pierre-Luc Dubois.
Okay, so which is brutal and too
tongue in cheek, sure, yeah.
But it puts the GM, what you said, Blakey and Robitaille, in a shitty spot, because now you committed to this guy, you brought him in, he's supposed to finish the job for you, kind of put you over the top,
8 years.
And now you're stuck. And I don't know it, but if that's what you're saying, and the coach is pissed off at the player and the player's not responding, well, now you got a shitty situation. And that trickles through the room when you've got key guys and coaches not getting along. There's issues. It gets into everything.
Well, and maybe you have to expedite the development of a player who's having a heck of a year in Quentin Byfield, right? He's playing on the wing. Kopitar loves playing with that kid, but I think in the long term, the LA Kings look at Byfield as probably being a centerman and maybe being the Kopitar successor. Well, that's why you traded for Dubois, to give yourself depth in that position so you don't have to fast track Quentin Byfield. So
well, and then the other, if it go, I mean, it's a year in. If it goes south, I mean,
how do you fix it?
Do you really think if McCullough plays hardball with Dubois and says, "Screw you, I'm going to start cutting your ice time. I'm not going to do that." Does he come across as the kind of guy that's going to go, "Oh, this is on my shoulders. I better play better. That kid reeks of.
And especially McClellan's, he's on a 1-year contract.
Yeah.
Like the finish line for Todd McClellan contractually is right there. And whether or not Dubois knows that or is, responding the way he is because of that, I don't know. It's a tough one. Tough.
Have yourself a fine weekend. Always appreciate you, Dregs. Talk to you next week.
Okay, boys. You too. Thanks for having me.
Darren Dreger, TSN, and our hockey insider for TELUS on the TELUS Insider Hotline. TELUS has been longtime partners with the Calgary Flames, longtime partners with the Calgary Hitmen, using world-leading technology to drive meaningful change, transforming healthcare and making food supply more sustainable. In 2022, which is going back, but still, it was 1.4 million hours and $125 million to local charities. TELUS, the most giving company in the world. Go online, learn more. TELUS.com/gives back. Interesting. You look at
and it's a half year, right?
It's a half year.
It's a half.
Not half a year.
But boy, you look at how Winnipeg dysfunctional. The coach says what he says at the end of the year. Wheeler, Dubois out.
Yeah, Wheeler was a big part of that for sure. Dubois was for sure.
Shifley, Hellebuck, stay.
No,
new guys come in. You didn't hear anybody bitching and moaning in that group about going to Winnipeg, which is usually a lot of times what you hear. Mm-hmm. And now Dubois, I just want to play where I want to play. I don't want to be in Columbus. I don't want to be at, how's LA? You gotta love LA. Yeah. Oh, okay. So now what is it?
Yeah, and maybe when he's right, he's such a good player. He had a great year in Winnipeg. He's had a May year in Winnipeg. He's had a great year in Columbus. He had a May year in Columbus. Like they get a great year out of PLD, he could win a cup. That's how good that team could be, right? Like it's just
a great point that Dregs brings up, though. If you're Doughty and Kopitar, and then this guy comes in, big fat contract, and isn't, and maybe you miss some of those guys that left. I had read online that those guys that left, like Velarde, and they were favorites in that locker room. That they cut a good chunk of the heart out of that roster when they made that trade to bring in this guy who seems to have no heart.
They played well at the start of the year, but
really
when a guy's fresh and into it and there's no stress, it's all new. But I just, for me, that Dubois, I thought he was awesome in a series against Toronto when he was in Columbus.
Yeah,
and you're like,
and the goalies went crazy.
What a player this guy could be.
Yeah.
But he's soft as puppy poo. He doesn't show up like no way. He's not a Kopitar. He's not one of those guys that just plays it all the time. When it's easy for him, he's fine and he'll do it, but he doesn't come across. He's a whiner in my opinion.
It's interesting, and I know we'll get on to some stuff here, but we talk about it a lot when you're trying to make up and build a team, and Zadorov being the most recent. It's like, if you don't want to be here, then we can't have you here. We can't have you being in the locker room. We can't have you on and off the ice just being around if you're a malcontent and that sort of thing. How do you build chemistry? Who knows? But you can often see when something's standing in the way of potential chemistry.
Things can change too. JT Miller wanted out of Vancouver bad. He ended up re-signing. He's having a monster year. It's an ugly 6 months for him. Yeah. And to your point, Rhett, there's a history before that. Like it doesn't mean he can't be a good king. It's just not a good start. They gave up a lot to get him.
Let's do some Betway bets. The divisional round is here. Fewer games, but it feels like the importance of these games ratcheting up a little bit. Get the Betway app on your phone. Get it on your desktop. Get it on your tablet. Play along. Game's already started. Don't matter. Play in game. Here's the Betway bets. All 4 games this weekend.
4-pack.
Houston at Baltimore. Ravens are rested. I like CJ Stroud a lot. We talked about it last week. I like the Texans, but I think it's baby steps. Big win a week ago. I think Baltimore is going to get this done by 10 or more at home. San Francisco, much the same thing. Green Bay, awesome last week. I don't think that the San Francisco defense is quite as broken as the Cowboys is. I'm going to give away the 9.5 there. The Buffalo Bills.
Brad.
At home. The first road game outside of a Super Bowl for Patrick Mahomes. Bills Mafia is going to be out in full force. Give me the Bills. And Tampa Bay and Detroit. I heard your tone earlier, Pinder. You were kind of, I think I like Detroit to win this game, but I think it's a close one. Give me 6.5 points. I'll take Tampa Bay. So I got the 3 favorites: Baltimore, San Francisco, Buffalo, and I'll take the road dog, Tampa Bay Buccaneers plus 6.5.
All right. I love all the dogs here. I don't know how many win straight up, but I think these are close games. The teams on buys are great teams, but the 2 teams they're facing punch better teams in the mouth. They were underdogs last week. Houston was laying 2 points at home to the best defense in the NFL, we were told. They hung like 54. Green Bay, no one's going to win in Dallas. It's been a year since anyone else has won in Dallas. They don't care. I'm taking the points everywhere, and I'm cheering for low victory margins, tight games, down to the final possession stuff, because that's what we've earned.
Yeah, we didn't get it last week.
No, I didn't.
And I absolutely didn't look at the numbers. I looked at the teams that I want to win: Houston, San Fran, Buffalo, and Detroit. Let's go.
And you're leading us with
the spreads could be minus 50.
I'm on the same boat as Boom. Great outings from Houston and Green Bay, but I think this moment will be too big. Baltimore, San Fran, destroy them. Buffalo wins at home, and as we learned, Detroit is played inside. Tampa Bay will cover.
Whoa, hang on. I thought this game was outside. You're telling me they're playing inside in Detroit?
I heard the weather in Detroit is no good.
It's 11 Fahrenheit. It's a dome.
Yeah, we play inside.
Tampa Bay covers. I think they win this game, actually.
That's
That's
bold.
Picks for the week.
There you go. Betway. Get that Betway app. You're gonna love it.
Is Jack cheating?
He doesn't know what the future holds. No.
Because I think he changed his number. He's above 500. There's no way.
He's on a heater.
He's
had a great little run.
I thought you were saying because he took
Actually,
my
no.
picks.
Let's just ask Jack.
No.
Are you a
Jack?
cheater, Jack?
Are you cheating?
I'm not cheating.
Okay, there you go.
See there.
Fudging
I'm great
those
with
numbers.
numbers.
Settled.
I've been keeping up all year. These are 100% correct, Rhett.
Mhm. You missed a few of my victories.
The weeks you didn't put picks in, we did give you losses. That is true.
Tomlin staying. Are you happy with that, Jack?
There's got one more year left. So
Yes, but they better hire some competent coordinators.
All right.
how about get a quarterback? That's what this league is, right?
Yeah, we need
they
one of
have
those.
one.
Too.
That's probably the thing.
Let's take a look at what's happening, what's on the menu for DoorDash. We
Good.
told you about it. You get the DoorDash app. It's easy. Shows right up on your doorstep. What is it you want? When do you want it? How do you want it? That's what DoorDash does the best. And for a limited time, you'll get 25% off and 0 delivery fees on your first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter promo code NATION25. That's NATION25. What is on the menu?
Guys, it's a dog's breakfast for NHL games. I'm not going to make you watch any of that shit. Instead, I've got some better stuff for you. The Saskatoon Blades are at the Scotiabank Saddledome, Rhett, taking on the Hitmen. The Blades are the best team in the WHL. Period. Stop.
Tanner Klimpke.
Our boy Wasey Rabbit kicking some ass on the coaching staff there. Love to see that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Boom.
And
did you know that? Klimpke's boys playing with the Blades tonight.
I did not know that. That's exciting. Is his dad, did he take the boat out there to watch or did he drive? Klimpke.
Sorry, Ryan. Go.
Hitmen are 500. The other bit of action, you can go to theahl.com or ahl.tv. Check out the Wranglers at Coachella Valley. That's the old Western Conference Finals from last year. A win for the Wranglers puts them in top spot in the Pacific Division. Another great year at the AHL level for the Wranglers. So that's a little bit of just under the NHL hockey action with Calgary teams on the menu tonight.
There you go. Thank you, DoorDash, making our life easy. And for that limited time, Nation25, the promo code will save you $25 on your first order of $15 or more. The frozen Rhett feed,
I am
it
totally
cold?
frozen.
Yeah,
Totally
it's
frozen.
It's been a bad feed today.
Braden Klimpke, not Tanner. Tanner's the older boy.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it's one of the Klumpkins.
One of them. Yeah, one of them.
Got 5.
Is that right? I knew it was a bunch. Yeah, I knew there was a stable.
Three, eh?
Yeah, there was a stable over there.
No, are you guys done? Are you gonna have more kids, Rhett? What's the plan? What's going on over there?
Well, if she'd ever come back from shoveling, we could discuss it.
I hear it's a big weekend at the Warner House. Is that right?
It's always a big weekend.
It's always a big week.
See how the Bills do on Sunday.
Because we got our crack research staff here. The Those are separate things. I'm not sure. Jack and RJ have done. I think they found something here for you for that's tomorrow.
What's happening?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
That's still going.
Happy birthday to you.
Is it still going?
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah, in a week and a day.
And
Yeah, not my birthday, but sure.
not your
Week and a
birthday.
day.
But happy
Week and a
birthday. So I have one of this for.
So research staff, they smoke crack and they do the research. Or crack.
I thought you
research
said it was
staff.
tomorrow, Ryan.
Happy
Me,
birthday
you're the
for
crack
the,
research staff. I heard it's a Saturday. Is it a Saturday? Is it next Saturday? Oh, geez.
Well, I mean, how could you find out when his birthday is?
I just hockey debate. It's probably where I should start. It says Shaunavon, though. It doesn't say Frontier, right? Some bullshit.
That's where the hospital is.
He's born in Cheyenne.
What do you want me to do?
Tough
And
it
you
out.
know what the best part is? We'll forget to do it next Friday.
That's why we got it out of the way right
That
now.
was so
right.
heartfelt. I don't know if I could handle it.
Can't
again.
have it again.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right, everybody, have yourself
Drive
a fine
safe, you guys.
weekend.
Thank you,
We'll be in Jasper. We'll be putting stuff up on social media, maybe a YouTuber thing here and there too, and we'll be back with Barn Burner on Monday. See you, buddies.